these words. But here I am, sitting in my car in front of a quiet Starbucks at 6:42 a.m., hands still shaking, eyes bloodshot from a sleepless night. I can't step into my own house anymore. Not after what I heard yesterday. Not after everything I had trusted for the past 17 years. Crumbled in an ordinary afternoon. Yesterday started off just like any other day. A client meeting was canceled last minute due to a family emergency. So instead of staying in the office like usual, I decided to work from home. Something I'd done a few times since COVID hit. I didn't give my wife, Patricia, a heads up, and I didn't text my daughter, Jessica. Because honestly, after nearly 2 decades together, why update every little thing? I thought I was living a normal family life. A good wife, a well-behaved daughter. Everything was peaceful. I was wrong. I drove home, parked in the garage, and then walked around to the side door to get inside. My mind was on nothing but a hot cup of coffee and a quiet afternoon in front of my computer screen. But then I heard laughter. My daughter's laugh, and her friends, coming from the kitchen. Teenagers giggling, voices loud and carefree. I was about to walk in and say, "Hi," but as I reached the door, I stopped. I heard my name. "Dad's such an idiot," Jessica giggled. "Doesn't even know Mom's been taking money from his account for years to go shopping." Her friend, "Seriously? How does he not know?" "Because he trusts Mom completely, and she's so smart. She takes just a little bit by bit. He thinks it's for the house, but it's actually for handbags, shoes, designer stuff. She always says men don't know anything, and she's right." Then they all burst out laughing, right there, in my kitchen, in the house I worked so hard to build, brick by brick, and my daughter was laughing at me. I froze. My whole body went numb. I couldn't breathe. I had to lean against the wall to stop myself from collapsing. My heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I didn't go in. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I turned around, silently retreated to my office, closed the door, and sat there, motionless, for hours. When the house grew quiet again, I started opening my laptop, logging into the bank account. And then, I saw everything. All the small transfers from our joint account to Patricia's personal account. Every time just a few $100s, but regular as clockwork. Thousands every month. Tens of thousands every year. Then I found 3 credit cards in my name that I never knew about, all maxed out. And then, I knew. Jessica had been telling the truth. Patricia, the woman I'd called my wife for 17 years, had quietly drained me like a thief in the night, wearing the mask of a loved one. That evening, when Jessica and Patricia returned, they were both laughing, talking like nothing had happened. Patricia made her usual Tuesday night chicken pasta, and Jessica complained about her history teacher. I sat there watching both of them, a deceitful wife and a daughter who mocked me, acting in my own home. And I just smiled, pretended nothing was wrong, because I knew I couldn't act impulsively. I needed a plan. I needed to understand exactly what I was up against. After dinner, I went to the bathroom, locked the door, and called Jason, my best friend from college, now a lawyer. He didn't say much. He just told me, "Stay calm, document everything. Don't act while you're angry, I'll help you." I didn't sleep all night. I just lay there, hearing Patricia's breathing next to me. The woman who once swore before God to love me for life, now silently stealing everything I built. And this morning, as I sat in my car, hands still shaking, I got a text from Jessica. More than 20 messages in just a few minutes. "Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were home yesterday. I didn't mean to. Can we talk?" I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say, because right now I'm busy thinking, how did I let myself be made a fool for 17 years? And more importantly, what will I do next to take back what's mine? The next day, a Wednesday, I sat in my home office all morning, staring at the screen, but my mind was elsewhere. Everything I once believed to be true now seemed distorted. Family, love, trust. Patricia acted like nothing had happened. She still had her sweet smile, asked me if I wanted lunch, still placed her hand on my shoulder as she passed by, still the perfect wife. The only difference now was that I knew she was hiding a knife behind her back. Around 1 p.m., I texted Jessica to meet her at Panera, her favorite sandwich shop. I wasn't sure what I was hoping for, but I needed to hear her speak to see if there was real regret in her eyes or just another layer of lies. Jessica got there early. She sat staring down at her iced coffee, her face pale, hair hastily tied up. Not the usual smiling girl. As soon as I sat down, she started crying. Not the whiny kind of tears, but choking sobs, fear, and guilt mixing together. "I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't think you'd hear. I didn't think it was this bad. Mom said she was just borrowing. She said you didn't know how to handle money, that she was doing it for the future. She told me she had found out about it 3 years ago, when she was just 13, when Mom asked her to get her wallet and she saw a stack of credit cards in my name that she had never seen before." I sat there silent. Every word from Jessica felt like a knife. Not because I was angry with her, but because I felt like a failure. I was the father my daughter couldn't trust to tell the truth. Before leaving Panera, I said one thing. I'm not mad at you, but from now on, you need to be honest. No more hiding things from me. Jessica nodded, her face still soaked with tears. But at least this time, she didn't turn away. That evening, when we all sat down to dinner, Patricia still played her role perfectly. Still asked Jessica about school, still poured me more water, still joked about the new dress she had just ordered. I looked at her like she was a stranger, a fraud wearing the mask of a loving wife. But I still smiled. I still played along. Because the game was different now, and I was in control. When Patricia fell asleep, Jessica quietly knocked on my door and handed me something I didn't expect. A small black USB stick. I've taken pictures of everything Mom left around the house. Receipts, credit card statements, notes, even the photos she sent on Amanda showing off her designer stuff. I'm scared she's going to do something worse. I clenched my fist, unsure whether I was angry or hurt. She was just 16, and she had to live like a spy in her own home. That night, I plugged the USB into my laptop, and for the first time, I saw the full extent of the woman I married. Transactions, transactions, transactions. Small sums of money siphoned from our joint account to Patricia's personal account. Huge shopping bills. 3 credit cards in my name I never knew about. A receipt for a storage unit, where she hid the spoils after every shopping spree. I called Jason, not as a friend this time, but as a lawyer. He said, start protecting your assets. Open a new account. Transfer money bit by bit. Document everything. You'll need proof. For the next 3 days, I acted like a robot. No signs of suspicion from Patricia. I opened a private bank account, transferred salary and savings into it, set up automatic payments for bills to keep things undetected, changed passwords for email, banking, everything important, and most importantly, I opened a dummy account, creating the perfect trap. I transferred $112,000 into the bait account, intentionally leaving the password visible so she could see it. That evening, I told Patricia I'd received a small bonus at work. She smiled, but I could see the glint of greed in her eyes. Jessica, now my ally, kept a close eye. She tipped me off about all the shopping plans, hidden packages behind the cabinet, suspicious emails. She was on my side, and I'd never been prouder. And then it happened. On the 4th day, $8,500 suddenly disappeared from the bait account, transferred straight to Patricia's personal account. No notice, no explanation. She took the bait. I immediately called Jason. Come over, tomorrow morning, bring everything. Tomorrow, I'm going to host a special dinner with Patricia, with Jessica, and most importantly, with my in-laws, Kyle and Jennifer. I want her to face the truth in front of the very people who believe she was the perfect wife, mother, and daughter. That morning, I woke up at 5:13 a.m. Patricia was still asleep, her face covered with a skincare mask, her breathing steady. As I looked at her lying there, I felt both a strange sense of unfamiliarity and deep pain. The woman I once loved, the one I trusted, now seemed like nothing more than a shadow with hands stained by shady transfers and deception. At 10:30 a.m., Jason arrived, sat at the dining table, where the final showdown would take place. He brought 3 binders, full of evidence, statements, pictures, testimonies, invoices. By the afternoon, Jessica helped me organize everything. She didn't say much, just silently printed out each picture, marked each transaction, her eyes red but glinting with a strange determination. At 4 p.m., my in-laws, Kyle and Jennifer, arrived, bringing a bottle of wine, as if this were just another typical family dinner. Patricia hugged them, smiling brightly, wearing an apron, saying, I made lasagna tonight, the dish you love the most. I watched the scene like I was witnessing a terrible play, where the main character didn't even realize the curtain was about to fall. Jessica sat next to me, fiddling with her Apple Watch, not saying a word. Patricia didn't notice. She was too busy playing the part of the perfect daughter-in-law. We ate appetizers, talked about the weather, Kyle's knee surgery, the drama in Jennifer's book club. I sat there, my hand resting on the 3 binders in my lap, my stomach knotted with anger. And then it was time. As Patricia placed the lasagna tray on the table, I said, before we eat, I think there's something we need to make clear. 3 pairs of eyes turned to look at me. Patricia froze mid-motion. I carefully placed each binder on the table, like peeling back layers of a lie. I found some financial discrepancies in our joint account. Patricia raised an eyebrow, not out of fear, but more out of annoyance, as if I'd interrupted her dinner. She started speaking in a soft tone. You're overreacting. What couple doesn't share finances? I opened the first binder. I laid out the small transfers. $200, $350, $500, recurring over the last 7 years. Next came photos of 3 credit cards I had never seen before, none of which had appeared on any of the bills I'd signed. Kyle's face turned red. Jennifer covered her mouth. Jessica lowered her head. Patricia remained silent. No reaction. It was like she was waiting for me to finish my presentation so she could argue. When I got to the third binder, pictures from storage, designer handbags, clothes, shoes, unopened electronics, Kyle shot up from his chair. Patricia, is this for real? Jennifer muttered repeatedly. Oh my God, Jessica whispered over and over. Mom, stop lying. Please, just stop lying. And then Patricia, she laughed, a laugh so cold it sent chills down my spine. It's just money. You control everything. I just borrowed it so I could have something to live on. I looked her straight in the eyes. $73,458, plus $47,235 in credit card debt, totaling more than $120,000. That's called borrowing? Patricia began to lose it, blaming me, justifying herself, complaining, saying that I didn't care about her, that she deserved to live like other wives, that this is a sickness, a shopping addiction. And then she turned to Jessica. You promised me. You're betraying me. You're just your father's daughter. You don't understand anything. That's when Jessica stood up, pulled out her phone, and played the recording of a conversation between Patricia and Aunt Amanda. In it, Patricia clearly said, he doesn't know anything. I'm still accumulating. When Jessica goes to college, I'll cash out and disappear. No one said a word. Kyle had to hold Jennifer, who was shaking. I sat there quietly, feeling strangely calm. Then I delivered the final blow. Oh, and you should know that I've canceled all the credit cards, all the accounts, including the $8,500 you transferred yesterday. She wasn't the Patricia I once knew. Now she was just a desperate woman, trembling as she gathered her things to go upstairs. 10 minutes later, she came back down with a rolling suitcase. I'm going to Travis's house. You'll regret humiliating me like this. I'll get everything back. I said one thing before she walked out the door. You've taken enough. That night, Kyle and Jennifer stayed. They apologized. They cried. Jessica lay next to me in the living room, her head on my shoulder. Dad, finally the truth is out. That night after Patricia left, Jessica and I sat in the living room. The lights were dim. The house was unnervingly quiet. My 16-year-old daughter wasn't crying. She just sat there, her hands clasped together, her eyes fixed on the blank TV screen. Dad, I'm sorry. Her words slipped out like a confession. I turned to her, gently resting my hand on her shoulder. No, it's not your fault. Jessica began to speak, piece by piece. She remembered the first time she found the strange credit cards in her mom's wallet when she was just 13. She remembered when her mom said, don't tell your dad. He won't understand. He's always so strict about money. And little by little, Jessica became the keeper of those secrets. The packages delivered to the house, the ones her mom asked her to hide upstairs. Hide these, honey. If your dad sees them, I'm done for. She didn't want to do it, but her mom was her mom. The one who cooked, cared for her, the one who used to sing her to sleep when she was little, off-key but with love. I didn't think it was that serious. I thought mom was just sad. She just wanted to spend to relieve the stress. Then when Jessica turned 15, things spiraled out of control. She saw her mom secretly withdraw cash, hide receipts, and then one day accidentally read an email her mom sent to Aunt Amanda, talking about a divorce fund and a plan to disappear after Jessica went off to college. I was scared, Dad. I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know what would happen if I said something. She started collecting evidence, like a little spy in her own home. Not because she hated her mom, but because deep down, she just wished someone would stop it. When I asked why she didn't say something sooner, Jessica went quiet. Then in a small voice, she answered, because mom said, if it all came out, you'd leave. You wouldn't need me anymore. My heart twisted. I pulled Jessica into a hug. I'm not going anywhere. No matter what happens, you'll always be the most important thing to me. The next day, Jessica refused to go back to her mom's house. She said plainly, I don't want to go back to a place where everything is a lie. I need time to breathe, to figure out who's who. I took her to see a therapist, a kind woman, her voice as sweet as a lullaby. After the first session, Jessica came out and hugged me. I feel lighter. Maybe this is the first time I've been able to speak the truth. In the days that followed, we started learning how to live again, just the two of us. No more mom in the kitchen making lasagna. No more high heels clicking on the hardwood floor every morning. But no more lies either. We began to talk honestly about our feelings, our fears, and even our hopes. Every night, Jessica would crawl into my room and ask, are you okay today, Dad? I'd answer truthfully, and I'd ask her the same. A child caught between two selfish adults, but still choosing to stand up for the truth. Not for revenge, but because she wanted to live with integrity. And I learned something. The truth, though brutal, was the most courageous gift Jessica gave to both me and herself. And that's my story. From being a husband deceived and betrayed by his wife, to becoming a father who stands up to protect his daughter and himself. Life is never perfect, but sometimes it's through those cracks that the light can finally get in. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this journey. If you've been through something similar, or simply want to share your feelings after hearing this story, Please leave a comment below. And don't forget to hit like and share this story with anyone who might need a little hope. If you want to continue following real-life stories that are full of emotion and suspense like this, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the next chapters. I'll see you in the next story, where the truth always speaks for itself.